Hi, Keldrick. How you doing? Okay, I was reading your writing. Everything makes really good sense here. So we're going to jump right over to the example. And I've got a lot of comments to make, so I just really want you to kind of sit back here and open your mind and just listen to what I'm saying. I want you to wrap your head around what I'm saying because it's very, very, very important for the objectives of this class as well as the learning outcomes. So let's go ahead and jump over to the work. All right, capital media. I do not recommend this approach. As a matter of fact, this approach will not work for this class. The reason it won't work for this class is because we are establishing personal branding. That's personal. That's Keldrick. You're branding Keldrick. You're not branding Capital Media. Capital Media is seemingly an organization. You're not branding an organization. You're branding yourself as a designer. This is specifically relevant and important because in the situation or in the case, and this is how the course is set up, okay? So whether you intend on looking for a job in the field or not, the course is still set up in terms of personal branding, not branding an organization. The reason it's so important to brand yourself is this. Imagine you're applying for a job, okay, and you have Capital Media on your resume and on your business card and on your letterhead, et cetera, et cetera. Well, the hiring professional, now I hire for my firm, right? I do all the hiring for my firm. So if I were to see this, I would say to myself, and I don't mean to sound discouraging, I would say to myself, well, obviously this young designer isn't aware of the differences between branding for an organization and personal branding, and I'm looking for a designer, I'm looking for personal branding, right? That's what I'm looking to hire. When I'm hiring a designer for my firm, I'm not, okay, let's say Keldrick applies to my firm, okay, and I saw this, I would say, okay, I'm not interested in hiring Capital Media. I'm interested in hiring Keldrick, the designer. Therefore, I would like to see Keldrick brand himself in a language that speaks to me as a designer and that speaks of Keldrick as a designer. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's really, really important that you reconfigure this. You consider reestablishing your approach. I think, and you know what, KB, the monogram, and I think this is a really great approach, and this is one that I quite often share with students. Um, so my recommendation is this, is to create a monogram. A monogram is your initials, KB. You can be as creative as you want here, right? You can even use this font if you want. You can create KB using this. The point is you want to create a very versatile brand mark for yourself, branding yourself as an individual, not an organization. So I think a great formula there is creating a monogram, initials, and then adding Keldrick Brooks and then graphic designer. Okay, so you can do something. You can do a couple of things. Like here's two potential configurations. So watch my cursor. Logo, monogram. Okay, on top, and then Keldrick Brooks, center below, graphic designer, center below that. Or another option is the monogram, okay, then next to it, Keldrick Brooks, and then in smaller type underneath that, graphic designer, or I'm sorry, graphic design. Okay, now I really want you to try that. Now let me know in response to this video whether you are interested. Now you're not required to do this. You can pretty much take this any direction you want. But in order to adhere to the learning objectives and the course outcomes, I think it's specifically important that you go ahead and follow my recommendations here. So go ahead and start to try to reconfigure and let me know. I mean, if you want to just stick with Capital Media, then that's then you're perfectly fine doing that. I don't recommend doing so, but you're not required. So, I mean, you can pretty much brand anything you want here and call it your personal branding, but I highly recommend that you brand yourself. So I guess what I'm saying is that nowhere in the course requirements or the grading rubrics does it say you have to brand your first and last name. Okay, I think that it's very important that you do, but nonetheless, it's not required. So following your approach is not going to affect your grade at all. I'll still grade you accordingly. But I highly recommend. Now, let me know if my comments make sense, and let me know which direction you are going to pursue. If you do elect to change it up and you want to create a monogram and reconfigure your brand mark, then just go right ahead and repost here. I'll be glad to make full comments. Or if we get into next week, what you really want to do is you want your logo to be done so that you're going to start applying the visual attributes from the logo into your other collateral pieces. So in a perfect world, your logo is done and you move on to other things. If you find yourself continuing to work on your logo while other pieces are come due, then just use a placeholder logo and leave a note that is a placeholder logo, and that your real logo will be replacing that. But we got to get this logo wrapped up as soon as possible so we can start applying the visual attributes to your other collateral materials associated with your branding suite. Okay, Keldrick, I hope my comments make sense. Please let me know if they do, okay? And also let me know what direction you feel you're going to pursue. And of course, the most important thing here is if you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be glad to make any necessary clarifications. Okay, Keldrick, thank you very much.